What's up, MetaNerdz? This video is all about the Bellator-class Dreadnought, a line of ships that developed out of the Mandator series. It was manufactured by Kuat Drive Yards, the same people who gave us the Venator, ISD, and who would restructure as Kuat and Tralla to supply Star Destroyers to the First Order. Its cost was unknown, but as the ISD was 150 million credits, and was about 4.5 times smaller, and the Assertor was twice as long, and cost 1,100 million credits, the Bellator should have been somewhere between 500 million and 700 million credits. Of course, I'm not saying that length is the only thing that matters, but they had very similar ratios of armaments to their size, so our best guess would be that it's in this price range, about 10 times the cost of the Venator, or equal to 10,000 TIE fighters. At a length of 7,200 meters, or 4.47 miles, it was about 6 Venators long, and at a width of 2,840 meters, or 1.76 miles, it was about an ISD plus a Venator across. And at a height of 1,121 meters, or 0.7 miles tall, it's about a Venator on its end, or 224 Rancors. Although there is no top speed, or hyperdrive status, I think it's safe to say that it had a Class 2 hyperdrive, the same as the ISDs and the SSD. This engine array contained 14 thrusters, which combined for a greater output than any Mandator that came before it, but it also had a very unique look with this rounded section, to me definitely having some Mon Calamari cruiser vibes. As for its armament, you can see the heavier quad turbo laser cannons, which lined every surface, with the ion cannons lighting the starboard and port sides, along with these smaller point defense cannons spread throughout, and additional forward-facing ion cannons located here. This meant that although it could cover a great area with laser cannon fire, the ion cannons were most effective in a broadside. I also assumed that there were a ton of concussion missile launchers as well, as the Assertor had 90 launchers with 20 heavy tractor beams, so if they had the same ratio, perhaps the Bellator had about half that. Subtle things that make this armament even more impressive is that if you take a close look at these weapon emplacements, you can see that they are stepped so that each gun is higher than the first one, so that they can all fire on target, with a wide range of motion to track the enemy ship without having to worry about firing into each other. But what might be my favorite element is that they made sure to have a wide variety of weapon emplacements at the rear, protecting one of the most glaring blind spots in many other Star Destroyers, which had the effect of not just protecting the engines, but remove the ability to sneak up on the bridge, or take out these shield generators, something that is especially true for those generators located in the midsection. Also about these shields, their redundancy is especially important for the ship-to-ship combat that the Bellator was made for. As for its history, it was developed to be a smaller, less powerful, but much quicker ship than the previous Mandator 1 and 2. This speed was achieved by dropping the length from 8,000 meters to 7,200 meters, and increasing the overall output with more engines, but most importantly it added this extra reactor, something that we don't even see in the Assertor. This fast-acting capital ship was used alongside the Assertor, being able to rapidly respond to threats, and engage the enemy while the Assertor made its way over, that is, if the Bellator couldn't just handle the threat on its own. This earned it the nickname the Fast Dreadnought, and its reputation spread throughout the Empire, and found its way into more and more battles with the growing Rebel Alliance. The Bellator was present during the Battle of Hoth, and one could be seen in the expansion region, refueling at the naval station Valladucia. After the Battle of Endor, at least one Bellator fell into the hands of the New Republic, and was used alongside other Imperial-class Star Destroyers during an event referred to as the Thrawn Crisis. The latest that we see the Bellator is in the year 10 AVY, when it was stationed over the planet Biss, which contained Palpatine's personal cloning facility. So that's it for its history, but you definitely want to hear these cool facts and behind-the-scenes stuff. This ship actually has a complicated out-of-universe history, being just a small drawing in the background for the Dark Empire 2 Devastator of Worlds, but got a full 3D render via Ansel Heisau on the Fractal Sponge website. He is quoted as saying that when he first saw this ship, it reminded him of an angry bear running through the forest, and he gave it the name Bellator, meaning warrior in Latin. This work was then brought into official Star Wars material via the book The Essential Guide to Warfare. And what's really cool is that in a promotional video made for the older public, there is a shot where the Star Destroyer is being built, and though it is supposed to be implied that this is a Harrower-class Dreadnought, the artist points out that it seems to be based off of his 3D model, even down to the gun emplacements, most notably this ion cannon. He said this happened at least one other time as well, with part of an image of his model for the Imperial-class Star Destroyer being used on the Star Wars Galaxies trading card. So that's it for the Bellator-class Star Dreadnought, but most important of all, Remember, speed kills, especially when paired with quad turbo laser batteries, and the Force will be with you. Always.